Uh, hey guys, welcome back. Two Brothers Off Script. Totally unscripted right now.
Yeah.
We're just shooting from the hip.
I'm Jerry.
I'm Ryan, and thanks for coming back. If you're a repeat viewer, if you're not, then I don't know. Welcome for the first time. This is where we're going to talk about some stuff that's just off the top of our heads and what we feel like might make the world a better place.
And if you like how it goes, we're saying this at the beginning rather than the end of the show now.
Yep.
Please like it, comment, subscribe it, share it, post us to Facebook, good or bad. That helps us show up in search rankings, and it can help us.
I have seen the comments.
keep
I mean,
making-
they're
Are there comments?
There's actual comments.
I'm going to go read the comments right after we finish shooting.
Yeah, and probably be the one responding.
We should
to
be
all of them.
responding to the comments, yeah.
One guy specifically said, "What did I just watch?" And I think it was pretty obvious because he watched it. So that's on him.
Maybe he didn't watch all of it.
He didn't watch long enough. So stick around to the end, and you'll know by the end what you should have known at the beginning, which is we're just gonna talk and enjoy it. So,
I saw there's a YouTube channel called Miranda Sings, and the
shout out to Miranda Sings.
she's
she's
a comedian who plays a early 20s very bad singer.
So she pretends
on
to sing
you-
badly,
Yes.
or does she sing badly?
She professionally sings badly on YouTube as a character who is worth like 2.5 million views per episode with like 7 million subscribers. Miranda Sings. And she got a Netflix TV show
Is this called?
called Haters Back Off.
Yeah, I have.
And she sells merchandise, buttons and pins and clothing, and she has a set full of drawings that people have sent her of her character that she plays on YouTube. And this is a real,
I watched the first episode.
I don't think we are not making this to get our own TV show.
No.
We are making this because it's fun to do, because we enjoy having these conversations, because these were the conversations we were already having sitting at Denny's or Sherry's or the diner of your choosing. And this is an opportunity for us to talk about what's going on in real life. So you can get famous. One of the pitches, leave a comment if you think this is a good pitch. So this is the pitch. I want to run for president of the United States of America in 2050. So I want to run for president on YouTube for a solid 20 years and crowdsource my political positions. And then
We got to make an election year as well. So
I would have to
you
figure
start
out.
running in 2050 to be elected. 2050?
No, start running now. Yeah, to get elected in 2052 or whatever it is.
So
We're in 2016, electing for 2017.
it's 34 years.
Maybe 48. 2048 would be an election year.
Sure.
2052 would be an election year. One of those. So basically, if you would run for 20 years for president, everybody would know everything about every
We're going to
position.
be selling pins pretty soon on our website. Jerry for President 2052.
2052.
Yeah.
And that way, it's completely understood what your positions are.
Yep.
And if you have a conversation and you change your position,
gray and stuttering.
well, you got to get to old.
You got to get to old.
I
first.
mean, there are people we know who are much older that we like a lot more than the current political candidates, but you've got to be fairly old. It says you have to be 35, so I qualify on that category.
Right.
It says you have to be a citizen. I qualify on that category.
I'm almost there. I just turned 30.
Says no felonies.
Happy birthday.
I think.
To me.
I don't have any felonies. I was convicted of malicious mischief as a child.
Right. That's probably expunged by now. You're okay.
Yeah, it's sealed, so you can't find it. But it happened.
But he admitted it, so now it's on a digital record forever, and they're gonna,
I did.
They're going to drag this out.
It was a misdemeanor. I served community service.
Yeah, me too. One time.
So what's on your topic? What's on your plate for this week?
Well, everything that we've done so far has been a lot of, in my opinion, self-help related. Like we talked about some things that are pretty common in this day and age. The way people act around other people is pretty poor nowadays. You end up with a lot of justification for wrongdoing. Like I didn't mean to, but you shouldn't blame me anyways because you were in the way. And in regards to another topic we talked about in our other show,
What's Up?
What's Up This Week is kind of the running title of that. We'll just keep adding on to it, figure out where we want to be, and stop somewhere in the middle, and then give up.
This is why we need a self-help channel,
Right.
to deal with issues that we have clearly been through.
So, yeah, we've all experienced these things in our life, and there's people being rude or people being non-committal or you're ending relationships, beginning relationships, losing people, loving people. Everything we do is about living, and how you get along in this world, this crazy, crazy world. And, you're looking at these election results and are expecting a result, but hoping it's not, or you're just dreading either option right now. And I've been listening lately to a ton of just AM radio, Rush Limbaugh, people ranting, and it's been interesting. I listened to the entire debate, or nearly the entire debate.
Oh, you did? I wish I didn't get to watch it the other night.
And it was it was pretty boring, really. Like, they were a little bit more on the topics, but it ended up going from how your economic policy ends up being, this guy shouldn't have his finger on the nuclear button. Like,
there's no button. Can I tell you guys, there is no button? I was on a submarine. I slept next to nuclear bombs. There is no button. What happens is they send out a radio code. The submarine gets the radio code, and the guy pulls out, it looks like a handle, basically. Right. And it's got a little red trigger on it. And they squeeze the trigger, and then things go boom. Here's the thing, though.
No three
here's the thing.
Simultaneously.
I don't believe, and this is completely separate, okay? I don't believe, it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's Trump or Clinton or anybody. I don't believe that if the members of the military actually felt that the commander-in-chief was
cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs,
crazy,
yep,
I don't believe the members of the military would pull the trigger. It's not like the president doesn't, like in the movie, there's a suitcase and there's like a phone, a bat phone in there.
I've got the codes.
They snap the codes in half, like the ginger. It comes out of a Pop-Tart canister.
Your fortune today is
right. You get your fortune, your lucky numbers, your Chinese word for the day, a pair of chopsticks, some soy sauce. Oh, and by the way, here's some nuclear codes, which is okay. We probably got them from China anyway. And then you push a red button and the world blows up. That ain't how it works. It's not how it works. So I don't believe that the members of our military, if they actually believe that the president was out of control, would put the planet to death.
Right.
Because that's what happens. If you squeeze that trigger, the whole planet dies.
For sure.
Everyone. We've got 14 or 15,000 nuclear weapons. Russia's got 17,000 and change nuclear weapons. Combinations of bombers, land-based cruise missiles, land-based interballistic missiles, submarine-based missiles, airplane-based missiles.
This is all insanity.
It's all insanity. They're not going to do it, right? So to bring that up in a debate and say, this guy is so damn crazy, he'll kill every living thing on the planet. And then the counterpoint is like, and we know this because he said things that we find offensive.
Right.
And you're like, that is a massive leap. Like, on the other side, you've got him saying, this person, Hillary Clinton, will destroy the entire country and let every person from every other country move in and take your stuff.
Well, you got to have a point.
It's too far. right? It's like,
well, the absolute worst.
It's
right?
too much.
So what do you believe can the president do?
I guess this is a political episode.
What do you believe?
We don't know
it's
yet.
Not.
We'll get.
What do you believe?
It's not a political show, but this might be a political episode. We'll get there.
We got like 10 minutes to break down the entire reason for anybody's belief system. But let's talk about the one thing that really matters to everybody, and that's if you get the opportunity, you have the legal right. You're registered to vote. You took the time to check the box when you got your driver's license, and you kept your address updated, and you didn't die, and you managed to make it down to the polling station. Or if you did die, somebody will go in and do it for you. Don't worry about that.
Take time off work. You go down there.
You mail in your ballot. You're going to get it in the mail if you select that option. Put a stamp on it. It's worth 42 cents or whatever. And you can have an opinion on paper that may or may not affect the way that the actual election happens.
Yes.
Even though our vote doesn't really count necessarily, the election that we're voting on and all the tallies and everything like that is more of a popular vote. And if we all decided together as a popular, we elect this person prom king or prom queen, then they get to wear the crown and hold the scepter and be the blame game guy or woman for the next 4 years.
And then Congress still doesn't have to do anything.
Right.
No matter who it is.
So if you're worried about what someone's policy is, or you're worried about what their actual belief system is, think about it in these two ways. If Hillary's elected, she's going to keep doing the same thing that has been happening for the last 8 years.
Which is not much.
For possibly another 8 years. So 16
Sure.
years down the line, we have not made any money. We've probably lost some money. And we made a bunch of trade deals that benefit some people. But for the most part, after she gets out, she just wants to be able to go retire finally. And maybe Chelsea will run then. I don't know.
He'll probably be
She's
Chelsea.
not old enough yet.
Maybe there will be another Bush.
Maybe, yeah. Jeb will finally go into it again. But if Trump wins, he's a businessman. His entire principle is probably going to be to strengthen the economic situation for him and his constituents who have probably put some money towards his campaign. It's not dirty money, other than the fact that they probably didn't make it in a perfect manner.
And he could be essentially as ineffective at governance as Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama was.
He's not afraid to say you're fired when they screw up.
True.
He'll blame them in public, and he'll say, you're the reason this problem exists. You're fired. Let me hire somebody else. Because his whole deal is, I'm going to put the right person in the right position until I get it right. And it might not happen in the first year. It might not happen in the second or third year. But maybe the fourth year, he finally got some people in position that could do the job properly. And the whole point of being a president is that it's trickled down. You get the person below them.
Is it trumped up, trickle down?
So
what the heck does that mean?
It's just play on words so she could be smart for a second. But you eventually end up with this pyramid scheme where us at the bottom, the supporting labor, get to pay our taxes and do our job in a daily basis, and then somehow our vote then goes up the next rung, and then that vote goes up the next rung, and so on and so forth, back to the next president. It doesn't matter who gets elected because nothing is really going to change. What matters is if you put the same person, the same type of person, whether it was any other political person or Hillary, you're going to have politics. And politics is oftentimes shaking the hand and then getting the Purell out as fast as possible because you really don't care what the other person is saying.
Let me say this. I think, and this is why I think that Bernie Sanders was so popular this year, and this is actually why I think Barack Obama won his 2 elections. I think that the American public in general, the vast majority of the American public, people not involved in politics professionally, people not involved in, let's say, super higher level education, right, who have a vested interest in the cerebral, right, people who are not involved in journalism. I think in general, most of the country Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian, Green Party, whatever it is, are unhappy with the way that governance works.
Right.
And so I think Obama won because he said, I'm the hope and change candidate. He said it twice. Okay? The Affordable Care Act passed. He said he was going to close Guantanamo. He didn't. He said he was going to be out of Iraq. We're not. He said he was going to be out of Afghanistan. We're not there. We bombed the heck out of Libya. We're in Syria now, bombing Syria. We're dropping bombs in Pakistan. He got what's his face? It was Osama bin Laden, right? Cool. Made movies about it. Also cool.
Did he get it, or did the people?
He didn't buy the Navy SEALs a beer like he said he was going to. Bad call, right? Should have done that. And then complained because Congress was bad. And Congress complained because he was bad, and then he complained that Congress was bad. And that was the last 6 years of the presidency.
Mm-hmm. And right now, he's currently campaigning for Hillary to win the presidency. And
but he's not doing is he's not calling her the change candidate. And so, because Trump is saying he's the change candidate, he's still maintaining a chunk of the popular sentiment to be the change candidate. Now, he may not have the Bernie supporters.
No.
He may only have more Republican.
The latest poll that apparently predicted Obama to win by a certain percentage is currently putting him in a 1% lead.
Who?
I don't know the name of him, but this was what I was listening to.
I saw a bunch of polls
because all of my stuff is secondhand knowledge. Because I'm not sitting there talking to the guy because I don't think I could have a conversation with him.
I don't think I could either. But my point is this. My point is that whatever happens in this election, I don't think that issue of the American public being unhappy with politics is going to go away. I think in 4 years, even if Hillary Clinton does fine, right? No major scandals, nothing significant happens. Congress is still at a 13% or 20% approval rating, whatever they are this week. Nothing changes.
Right.
Okay? The government grinds forward. The national debt continues to go up. Nothing really changes. We make some new parks. We make some new rules. I think in 4 years, whoever is a change candidate in 4 years, I think they'll still have a shot.
Right.
Right and left.
If he could get in, at least it would be, in a sense, kind of cracking the mold. It might not break it, but
I think that's why people want him elected.
If he got in, you know, I've said it too, it's like burn it down. Get rid of this current system because it definitely doesn't work. It might not affect me on a day-to-day basis in any way that manages to like completely wreck my life. Like, wow, I really hope she doesn't win because I'm annoyed at her policy. It's more like if one of these candidates ever came out and said, if I get elected, I'm going to raise the individual's taxes to an unlivable standard, and you're going to have to sell your houses because property taxes are going to be so high. Like, unless they came out and said what they were really going to do, then there's no way to know. So it's all this promissory note type thing. I owe you guys a better future, and that's what you're going to get if you give me your money now. I will hand you the sticky note. Well, me not personally, I'll hire 15,000 employees to hand out sticky notes to everybody saying I'll owe you, and then we'll be in some more debt because I hired all those people. Man, I should have used the postal service. But then that would have been a whole other thing of mailing and stamps. Man, that's a lot of people. You guys are going to have to take my word for it. I owe you. I'm not going to do anything that's actually legally binding. I'm just going to say it a lot, and hopefully you buy it.
And it has to be, right? Because a campaign, any campaign, can make promises that they don't have to honor. Mm-hmm. They're not legally bound to honor the promises that they made. And so you hear people coming out, on both sides, defending the belief of what they personally think the candidate will do, not the other thing that the candidate said.
Right.
So they'll come out and they'll say, well, the candidate said X, Y, and Z last night. What do you think about that? And the person will go, I don't really think she means it, or I don't really think he means it. I think they'll actually do this. And the newscaster with no sense of investigative interest goes, really? Thank you so much for your insight. Well, who was that person? Well, that was Joe Blow from the Quick Stop. Well, thank you, Joe Blow from the Quick Stop. I appreciate your intelligent insider information. Have you ever talked to the candidate? No. Do you know the candidate personally? No. So what the heck are we talking to Joe Blow from the Quick Stop for?
It's opinion based.
It's just entertainment.
Yep.
They're putting things out on the news. I saw CNN. I had, I don't know, 10 minutes. I was standing there eating.
CNN's the outsider, though. Once in a while, they'll say something that seems like they investigated it.
But I was sitting there eating an apple or something, and I'm watching CNN, and they have in like 70-point font across the bottom of the screen. Trump speaks the first time since the debate. Well, what? The debate was like last night in Nevada.
He had to go to sleep.
He had to sleep.
Eat a Trump
steak. Probably ate a Trump steak, right? Drank some Trump water. What? I mean, he had to
watch some Trump TV. That's a thing.
And then he got up in the morning, put his suit back on, and he walked outside. They're like, "Holy smokes, he's
like Iron Man with his suit." I mean, I wonder, does he just walk into it and then it kind of forms around him? Because
that would be cool.
It looks like a big cloak. Like, I can't honestly tell what shape he's in. He's just kind of just standing there.
Well, that's because every picture, every single picture, this cracks me up so much. Again, I'm gonna say, for whatever reason, we'll call this the political one or something like that. Like, every single picture, you see Donald Trump, they've transposed the face of Emperor Palpatine onto his face. He's brooding and dark and angry looking. And then they've got Hillary Clinton next to him. Two pictures, they use this at the debate several times. And Hillary Clinton's regal and looking off graciously into the distance, and Trump's
yeah,
I'm about to kill someone. And Hillary's looking off into the distance, and she's well lit, and her hair is perfectly
he looks pretty
manicured.
sweaty, and she looks really calm and
she looks
dry.
Gorgeous. This is great looking grandma right there. I mean,
and then the other parts of her personal life that everybody is talking about is how sickly and ill she looks whenever she's not on camera. That's why Trump was apparently asking for a drug test. He wanted to see if she was on some sort of upper to keep her going.
People say, I think he is done, regardless of people's positions. I think I'll say this too. I don't think this should be an election about which person you like the least.
Right.
Right? I think that if this election has made you interested in politics, you should try to examine not the personalities, but the ideas that are at present in politics. You should look at, do I think people should come into the country without permission of the country? Yes or no? Why? Do I think there should be a federal minimum wage of $15 an hour? Yes or no? Why? What does that mean? How do I feel about regulation of company profits? How do I feel about regulation of pay? How do I feel about imports and exports? How do I feel about international trade? You may not have a position, but you should at least be willing to examine some of those questions and find out what your opinion is. Not go, I hate that person, or I hate that person, and so because I hate that person, I'm going to vote for the other person.
You're better off not voting if you don't like either of them. Because if it only came down to the, 200 million people or something that are actually going to vote in this election, and 100 or
I don't even think it's that many. I think it's probably,
well, we have 400 million people in America legally, and maybe
roughly,
and then I think
it's 3.
If half of them vote,
I don't even think it's that much.
The other half don't vote at all because they couldn't decide. They're undecided. I mean, the best thing you can do is literally write in a candidate. If you really don't like either of the two, don't pick Hillary because you don't like Trump, and don't pick Trump because you don't like Hillary. If you follow them at all, then pick one of them because of what they've said in these last 3 debates. All 3 have been
absolutely
redonk. There's nothing
absolutely
smart said in any of these.
Ridiculous.
It's just them going back and forth about how dumb each other are, how big a liar she is, and with all of the stuff that's actually come out against her, she should be in jail. She's broken the law so many times. By fact, they've got her on all these counts, and she still isn't getting prosecuted. So she shouldn't have the right, in a sense, because they're felonies, to run for president. If that's the minimum, fine, no jail time because you didn't know.
No, but so I'm gonna counterpoint to that. If you've ever had anything to do with classified information, and I have, and she has, it's really simple. Don't give it to anybody else.
Right.
Who doesn't have a need to know. That's it. That's the whole rule. It's a super simple rule. It's not complicated.
Yeah.
You don't give it out.
And unlike classified
And
information...
so she did have classified information, and she did have it outside of the government.
Yeah.
And so to say, well, there's no evidence that a crime was committed is not how you determine whether or not a crime was committed. A crime was committed. You took confidential information, some of it top secret, you took it out of the government, you put it into your computer that you own at your home. If that computer is a server, which is just a big computer, or if that computer is a laptop, which is a computer, or if that is a thumb drive that Edward Snowden snuck out of the NSA, that's a computer. You broke the law. That's it. You're guilty. I'm like channeling Lewis Black here or something right now. I'm just telling you.
Unlike
that's it.
Taking confidential information and sharing it or keeping it super safe in your locked up diary, share it.
They just busted a guy like that.
Share us. Okay?
Yeah, share us.
We got some stuff to say, and we're going to keep saying it. So this has been Two Brothers Off Script, way off script.
A political episode.
Episode.
We'll call it that.
And we'll see you guys again next week or sometime thereabouts.
Yeah.
All right?
Thanks for watching. Bye.